हरि जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य प्रविष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य प्रविष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिद आनंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनो गौरिया गुरुवार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भद्रदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चैच लहरीदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंज श्याम कुंज की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगा माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री रस पंचाध्यायी की जय। गोपी गीत की जय। सर्वव्रज देवीगण की जय। उर्जेश्वरी रसेश्वरी शिव शुभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद् भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणति नामिने। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिशे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सार्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत् सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, sorry, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, let's do the, I always forget, let's do the Radha Damodar verse by Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī. Anga shamalima chata birabhito mandi kritendi varam jadam jagudaro chishang vidhadatang pattam parasya shriya vrindaranya vilasinam hridilasar damabhiramo Radha Skanda Niveshito Jalabhujam Dhyayema Damodaram. His dark bodily luster eclipses a blue lotus. His brilliant yellow garments rebuke the radiance of golden kumkum. He revels in pastimes within Sri Vrindavan. His chest is beautified by a splendid Vaijayanti garland, and his splendorous left hand rests upon the shoulder of Sri Radha. I meditate upon that Sri Damodar. Okay, so now we're going through Gopī-gīta. Let me see who's there. Haribo, Ganga Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Radhe Radhe. Okay. I ate a ton of yogurt yesterday and that really messed up my voice. But anyways, just let me drink some water 1 second. Did I share my screen? Yes, I did. Okay, good. Oh wait, and am I using my mic? Sometimes it uses my computer mic. Yeah, I'm using my mic. Okay, good. Haribo, Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantra Murti Mataji. What am I doing? Okay. Jayati te dika janmana praja shayata indira shashvaratrahi daita dreshata Dikshutavakas Tvaidrita Savas Tvang Vichinvate Sharadudashaye Sadhu Jata Sat Sarase Jodara Shri Moshadrisha Suratanate Shulkadasika Avaradane Nato Neha Kenvada Vishajalapyaya Vyalarakshasarvashamadutat Vaidutanalat Vrishamayatmachar Vishvato Bhaya Rishabhate vaya rakshita moho nakalo gopika nandana bhavan kila dehinam antaratma tre vikana sartito vishwaguptaye sakayo devan sattvatam kule virachita bhaya vrishnito Yate charaname yusha sangsriter bhaya karasaroruha kanta kamadam shirasite hina shikara graham Vraja janartihan virayoshitam Nija janasmaya Tvang sanasmita Bhaja sake bhavat Kim kare smano Jalaruhanana Charudashaya Pranata Dehina Papakashanam Trinacharanuga Shiniketanam Panipanarpita Te padambujam Krinukuche shuna Krindihre chaya Madhuraya gira Alguvakyaya Buddhamano Kyaya Pushkare Kshana Vidir karirima viramo yati adhara sinduna pyayaya svana tava katamrita tapta jivanam kavir piriditam Kalmashapaham Shavanamangala Shrimaratatam Bhuvikrinati je Bhurita jana Aprahasitam kriya Prema Vikshanam Viharana Chate Dhyanamangala Rahasi Savido Yahride Sprisha Kuhakano Mana Payanti Chalas Achalasiyat Vrajat Charayan Pashu Nalina Sundarang Natate Para Shilatrinam Kurai Siddhati Tina Kadilata Mana Kanta gacchati dina parikshaye Nīlakuntala naruhanana Bibhradavrita Dhanarajasvala darshayamurur manasena smaraham virayachasi pranatakamada Padmajarchitam Dharanimandana Deyamapadi Charana Pankaja Shantamanchate Ramananastane Shvarpayadiham Suratavardhana Shokanashanam Saritave Luna Shushchuchumbitam Itararagave Smaranam Rinam Vitaravi Ranas Te Daramritam Atatyar Bhavan Ayanika Nanam Trutiyugayate Tamapashatam Kotila Kuntala Shri Mukam Chate Jaraudi Shatam Pakshma Kritisham Pati Sutan Vaya Pratripada Ati Vidagya Te Antya Chutagata Agati Vidasavo Gita Mohita Gita Vayoshita Kastya Jenishi Gita Vayoshita Kastya Jenishi. O Achyuta, we have come to you, having rejected our husbands, sons, brothers, friends, and our entire family. O cheater, you know very well why we came here. We have come bewitched by the loud song of your flute. Who but you would abandon young ladies who have come to you alone in the night? Wow. Some fire there. Okay. Let's read the translation inside Vichitradiri's version. One second, just saying. Haribo Pramila Mataji and Sudevi Didi Hari Krishna. And Sudevi Didi, let me know when you come here to Vrindavan. I actually don't even know what you look like because I've never seen your picture, but so I won't know who you are. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay. Let's. Oh Achyuta, you know why we have come here. You played your flute, knowing the path your song would take. That resonant sound bewildered us, and we have come to you, disregarding our husbands, children, brothers, friends, and entire family. Who else but you rogue, would abandon innocent maidens like us after bringing us to your shelter in the dead of night? Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. O Achyuta, thus we have ignored our husbands, children, relatives, brothers, and friends in order to come to you. Sri Krishna may ask, why have you come here? Gati vidas, you know the reason why we have come. According to another meaning, the gopis say, you are very expert in producing enchanting sounds with your flute, and you know its effect. Or, although we are savvy to your nature, we are still charmed by your penetrating flute song and have come to you. Hey, Kitava, oh cheater, what other man except you would abandon maidens who have come to him of their own accord at night? No one else would do this. Sorry if I'm getting the intonation wrong. I don't really. Okay. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. You have made our condition very miserable, whether you are present before us or out of our sight. But today, the way you behaved with us was truly improper. To express this mood, the gopis speak the verse beginning Pati. They say, with complete disregard for our religious duties, we have abandoned Ati Vilangya. We've abandoned all love for our husbands, children, in-laws, and other relatives. We have disobeyed their orders and have come to you. Krishna may ask, well, why have you done this? The gopis reply, because you called us with your loud flute song, which enchanted us. Just as a doe runs to the hunter, stupefied by his song, we have come to you under the spell of your music. Once again, there's a mistake here. Okay. It is not that you played your flute by the will of the gods. You are so calculating. You did so with full knowledge of all of the consequences. You knew that we would be attracted and would come running to you. With this intention, the gopis say Gati Vidas. According to another interpretation, Krishna may say, since you are self-composed, how is it possible that you would become bewildered just by hearing my flute song? The gopis reply, you know very well that the special nature of your flute song bewilders even Indra, Brahma, and Shiva. They reiterate this in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:35-15. Hearing this song, Indra, Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods are baffled. Krishna may say, you are very intelligent and you know my nature. Why then were you not cautious? The gopis explain, we were well aware of your nature, but your flute song is spellbinding. Just as an animal being captivated by a spell-binding mantra will be pulled in that direction by force, your melody bewildered us and dragged us to you. Oh, cheater, now tell us, what man other than you would abandon beautiful damsels who have come to him in the night? No one. By addressing Krishna as a cheater, He Kitava, He Taga, He Kapat, they're implying that no other rogue would reject a woman who has come to him in the middle of the night. Kitava means like cheater. Taga is like, what do you say, a rogue? Tug. It's like, and kapat is duplicitous. They're all kind of synonyms though, kind of, more or less. Yeah. A cheater uses the things he acquired by his fraud. A cheater uses the things he acquired by his fraud for himself. But your specialty is that you discard what you gain by deceit. Such purposeless deception is most condemned in society. Oh, Achyuta, you never deviate from your deceitfulness. You always act in accordance with it. This is why you have successfully fulfilled the meaning of your name, Achyuta. What's another meaning of Achyuta then? Like in this context? I say that you fulfilled the meaning of your name, Achyuta. Because you never deviate from your deceitfulness. Oh, okay. So you're never, okay, that's why. You never deviate. Achyuta means you never, what is it? Chuta means like, yeah, you never desist. You never desist from your deceitfulness. Okay, so that's the Gopi's definition of the name Achyuta is he who never desists from deceitfulness. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Dig-darśinī. Those Vraj ladies who were stopped in their houses by their husbands when they heard the flute somehow crossed all obstacles and came to Krishna and spoke this verse beginning with Pati, voicing their grievance. Gati vidas, O Achyuta, knowing that we are nearing our final stage, death, the dasham dasha, we have come to you. Even in our dire condition, you have failed, Chuta, you have failed, Chuta, to give us your darshan. Were you given this name, Achyuta, he who is infallible? Were you given this name, Achyuta, or not he who is infallible, or not Chuta, because your nature is exactly the opposite? Actually, anyways, maybe this is too much of a sidetrack. Yeah, never mind. I'll say it. I've noticed lots of times I've seen people get names that are completely opposite to their nature by our acharyas, and I wonder if it was like kind of a joke or like maybe an affirmation. Like, I don't know anybody who worries more than my mother, and Srila Prabhupada gave my mother the name Nischintya, who never worries. Affirmation for her. And, I've seen other things also. Anyways, I'd be insulting if I mention other ones, but so the gopis are saying that kind of same thing though. Are you have you been given this name Achyuta because you are exactly the opposite? Krishna says, if this is true, why have you come to me? The gopis reply, we have not come here because of our desire. We were memorized by your flute song, which thoroughly destroyed our intelligence and discrimination. Well, foolish women, if that is correct, then keep on tolerating this hardship. The gopis exclaim, cheater, deceitful friend, is there anyone as cowardly and cruel as you, who would abandon maidens coming to you on their own in the middle of the night? Indeed, no one else. In another understanding, the gopis say, mad person, what young man can heartlessly reject a, what's this word? Demure? Demure means reserved, modest, and shy. Okay. Sorry, guys. What young man can heartlessly reject a demure damsel who has come to him at night for abhisar? No one. You are a cheater, but today you have cheated yourself of pleasure. This is the mood. According to the Medini Sanskrit dictionary, the word kitava, masculine gender, has several meanings: a madman, a cheat, and a thorn apple. What's a thorn apple? A thorn apple. I wonder if that's a mistranslation, or it could be something. Okay. All right, so that's our reading for today, Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we're moving on to Dāmodarāṣṭakam, Śrīla Sanātana Gosvāmī's commentary on the second verse. Okay, Saviti Didi, great. Haribo Mitra Vrinda Didi. Dot pranams. 1 second. That's our Pradakama party just now leaving, I think. Today, where is everybody going? I think they're going to Radha Gokulananda, Radha Raman, Nidhuvan, all those places. All right, so let's begin Dāmodarāṣṭakam. My eyes are killing me. Oops, I forgot to open it up. I only slept 3.5 hours last night. I think that's why my eyes are hurting so much. Okay, here we are. Man, this is actually like really painful. Let me try to do. I'll try to make this black. That's a bit better. I need to turn down my screen. Okay. Rudantamo. Oh, okay. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Viyoluka Ladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Druta Gopyam Harodantamohor Netra Yogmamre Jantam Karam Bhoja Yogmena Asatanka Netra Moho Swasaka Pa Trirekanka Kanta Stita Graivada Modaram Bhakti Bhadam Namami Shwaram Sachirananda Rupa Dasatkunda Lam Gokule Brajamanam. Okay, so let's go over the word for word. Rudantam means weeping, and muhur means incessantly. So rudantam muhur, weeping incessantly. Netra yugmam, yugmam means two, and netra means eyes. So his two eyes, mrijantam, he is rubbing both simultaneously. Mrijantam, he's rubbing his netra yugmam. Okay, so you got that first line. Rudantam, weeping, muhur, incessantly. Netra yugmam, the two eyes, mrijantam, wiping, rubbing. Then karam bhoja. Kara means hands, and ambhoja means lotus. And yugmena, again, that same word, see, yugmam and yugmena, those both mean two. So with his two lotus hands, karam bhoja yugmena, he's rubbing, mrijantam. Then sa tanka netram, his eyes are filled with fear. Atanka means like atanka is like yeah, terrorist, terror. That's how you say terrorist in Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali is atankavadi. And so his eyes were with terror. They're filled with terror. Right? See that word again, netram. So sa tanka netram. Mohu swasa. So again, shwas. It's shwas, right? Is it shwas? Shwas. Is heavy sobbing and like that's like heaving, isn't it? Like so heavy sobbing. Kampa. Kampa means trembling. And then Tri Reka Anka. Tri Reka means three lines that are like an anka, that are like a conch shell, right? Like there's, you see the groves on a conch shell. So that's Tri Reka Kanka Kanta. On his neck, there are three lines like the grooves on a conch shell. And so what is that? It's causing the graiva, which is stita, stita means situated. So the graiva, the necklace, which is situated on his Tri Reka Kanta, that graiva is also trembling, right? Yeah, causes the necklace on his neck to tremble, if I'm understanding correctly. So that Damodar is bhakti badam. He is bound by bhakti. So I hope all the words are clear. If any of these words are not clear to you, let me know and we can go over it again. It's important to understand what we're singing though. So yeah, really let me know if any of it's not clear. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rajantam karam bhoja yugmena sa tankanetram muhu shvasa kampa trirekhanka kanta stita graiva Dāmodarāṣṭakam bhakti bhadam. Let's read the translation now. Seeing the stick in his mother's hand, fearful of being beaten, he is weeping incessantly and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus-like hands. His eyes are extremely restless and filled with fear. He takes heavy breaths again and again that cause the pearls and other ornaments around his neck, which is marked by 3 gracefully curving lines, to tremble. O Damodar, you have been bound by your mother's Vatsalya Bhakti. I offer my obeisances unto that Damodar. Okay, so now we are reading the Dig-darśinī-ṭikā. Let me just look at the comments. Hare Krishna Bhuvan Kandapal. Okay, so there's the Sanskrit commentary, Dig-darśinī-ṭikā, and now we'll read the translation of that, the Bhavanuvad of that. The excellence of Krishna's extraordinary Leela is depicted in this important verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10.9.11. Kritaga samtang prarudantamakshini kashantamanjan mashini swapanina udvikshamanam bhayavivalekṣanam haste grihitva bhishayantagva gurat. Mother Yashoda watched as her naughty child cried bitterly and rubbed his eyes with both his hands. The black ointment from around his eyes mixed with his tears and spread everywhere. Seeing her son with his eyes full of fear at the sight of the stick that she was brandishing, Yashoda took him by the hand and began to gently reproach him in order to instill fear in him. And the stanza beginning with Rudantam, Sri Satyavrat Muni fully captured the meaning of this Bhagavatam verse. In following with the second half of the previous stanza, he continues to establish his worshipful Lord's supremacy through descriptions of his unique pastimes. Appreciating the same pastime that is described in the above verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, he spoke the present stanza thus. When he saw his mother holding a stick, he became apprehensive, fearing that she would surely beat him. Now he is hoping that by showing her how afraid he is, he can avoid being punished. It's the puppy dog trick, right? He's trying to make his mom feel bad. So Rudantam, he cries bitterly, and Karam Bhoja Yugmena, Netra Yugmam Rajantam. Do you remember what that means? Karam Bhoja Yugmena, Netra Yugmam Rajantam. So remember, Kara means hands, Ambhoja means lotus. Karam Bhoja, lotus hands, Yugmena, the 2. Karam Bhoja Yugmena, the 2 lotus hands. Netra Yugmam, the Yugmam, the 2 eyes. Mrijantam, rubbing. So with his 2 lotus hands, he rubs his 2 eyes. He rubs his eyes again and again with both his lotus-like hands. That he just keeps rubbing his eyes with both his hands is in keeping with the natural behavior of a child. This is a special characteristic of his Balya Leela, and it is one explanation of Karam Bhoja Yugmena Netra Yugmam Mrijantam. But this phrase also indicates 2 alternative meanings. The first of these is that there are actual tears that instantly came to his eyes due to his fear. In order to make these tears fall from his eyes, he continuously rubs them with both of his hands. The second alternative meaning is that continuous streams of tears are already flowing from his eyes, so he rubs his eyes with both of his hands to wipe away the tears. So wait, One meaning is that he's trying to make tears fall from his eyes. So he's trying to like make himself look more pitiful than he is. And then the other meaning is that he actually is really crying and he's wiping away the tears. So two meanings. The meaning of satanka netram is that if even his eyes are expressing that he is afraid of being punished, his mind must be overwhelmed with fear. Otherwise, it must be taken to mean he is casting his glance in all directions because he is greatly agitated by fear. His attempt to avoid being beaten by his mother is another of his unique confidential pastimes. And moreover, moho swasena, because of his continuous crying and constant heavy sobs, kanta stita graivam, the pearl necklace and other ornaments around his neck, which is marked with three rekanka, three graceful lines like the ringed groves on a conch, are also kampat, are also trembling. The Sanskrit in this is very simple, isn't it? Like very easy to understand. Sri Damodar, whose belly becomes bound by ropes, appeared thus. By this description, Sri Satyavrat Muni has captured the meaning of another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:9-14. Tam matvatmajam avyaktam martelingam adhokshajam gopi olukale damna babandha prakritam yata. Just as an ordinary mother in this world may bind her mischievous son, so Mother Yashoda, simply considering Sri Krishna to be her son, tied him to the grinding mortar with a rope as if he were an ordinary child. Oh, I missed this footnote. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The above verse mentions that the rope was knotted both at his belly and at the grinding mortar. Other footnotes here. Mother Yashoda first tied one end of the rope around a heavy grinding mortar and then began to tie the other end of the rope around her child's belly in order to keep him securely bound. Thus, the sage has revealed Sri Krishna's unique supremacy by describing his Bhakta Vashyata Vishesh, his special quality by which he allows his devotees to control him. Sri Satyavrat Muni says, Bhakti Badham. The meaning is Daiva Badham. Sri Krishna is only bound by bhakti and nothing else. In other words, it was not the strength of all the ropes that was able to bind him. Rather, he submitted to being bound on one hand. He submitted to being bound on one hand because of the power of Sri Yashoda's bhakti for him in the form of motherly affection, and on the other hand, because of his own special quality of willingly being controlled by his bhaktas, like his mother in the form of his bhakti for her. Oh, so one was his mother's bhakti for him, and also it's because of his bhakti for her. Right? He submitted to being bound on one hand because of the power of Yashoda's bhakti for him in the form of motherly affection, and on the other hand, because of his own special quality of willingly become controlled by his bhaktas, like his mother, in the form of his bhakti for her. That is why, even when Mother Yashoda tied all the ropes she had gathered together, she still failed to bind him. There always remains an inexplicable gap of 2 fingers. This is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:9, verses 15-17. Tadama bhadyamanasya svarbhakasya kritagasa dvangulyo nam abhuttena sandadhenyach Gopī-gīta. When Mother Yashoda tried to bind her mischievous child, the rope was 2 fingers too short. So she added another rope to it. Yadasetar api nyunam tenanyad api sandhade tarapi dvangulam nyunam yadyad adatta. However, that also was 2 fingers short. In this way, each and every time she tied on another rope, it was always 2 fingers short. Evam swagehadamani yashoda sandadadapi. Although tied together all the ropes in her home, Mother Yashoda could not bind Krishna. Seeing this, the gopis started giggling. utterly perplexed, she also began to laugh. The other reason that his belly became bound with rope, Damo, the reason for his Dāmodarāṣṭakam, his belly bindedness, is that bhakti badham. He is completely enchanted exclusively by the bhakti of his devotees. This meaning actually leads to the previous one, that he becomes bound because of his bhakta vashyata, his willingness to be controlled by his devotees. In regard to this, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:9, 18-21 further states, Swamatuhu Srinagatraya Visrasta Drishtva Parishrama Krishna Kripayasit Sabandhane. She had become exhausted by tying so many ropes together, and her body had become covered with perspiration. The flowers woven into her hair had fallen from her loosened braid, and had scattered here and there. Seeing his mother's fatigue and feeling compassionate, little Krishna then allowed his mother to bind him. Evam sandarshita hyanga harina bhakta vashyata swavashenapi krishnena yasyedam seshvaram vashe. O Maharaj Parikshit, this entire universe, along with the powerful demigods who control it, is completely under the control of the supremely independent personality of Godhead, Sri Hari. Yet he has allowed himself to be bound in order to show that he is willingly controlled by his devotees. Nema virinchod na bhava na shir apyanga sangshaya prasadam le bhire gopi yattat prapya vimuktidat. The Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, who bestows salvation upon all, never showed Lord Brahma, Maheshwar, Shiva, or even his eternal consort Lakshmi Devi, who is half of his body, the kindness he showed this Gopi, Yashoda. Nayam sukapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutta jnaninam chatma bhutanam yatha bhakti matam iha. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the son of a gopi, Gopika Sutta, is not at all easy to attain for the Ashtanga yogis, who identify themselves with the body and who perform severe austerities. Nor is he easy to attain for self-reliant jnanis, who are absorbed in all-pervading non-dual knowledge. But these loving associates who are absorbed in serving him, simply considering him to be the darling son of a gopi, have easily attained him. In other words, although the ascetics and impersonalists undergo great trouble, instead of attaining the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, they merely attain an incomplete or partial expansion of him. These verses have conveyed the aforementioned reason for being bound. There's a footnote. The reason that Sri Krishna is bound due to his quality, the reason is that Sri Krishna is bound due to quality of Bhakta Vashyata. Later in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna declares, Devarshne priyatamo yadimo dhanadatmajo tatata sadayishyami yargitam tan mahatmana. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:10-25. Devarshi Narad is my dear devotee. Therefore, even though these two brothers, the sons of the most wealthy demigod Kuvera, even though they had no devotion for me, still I must fulfill Sri Narad's words by appearing directly before them and granting them my devotional service. The deep meaning of this statement spoken by Sri Krishna is that he enacted the pastime of delivering the two sons of Kuvera in the form of twin Arjuna trees because he was pleased by Sri Narad's devotion to him. Should there be a comma there? I don't think so, but I don't actually know. Indeed, he enacts all his pastimes because he is pleased with the bhakti of his devotees. This is yet another important meaning of bhakti badham. He is bound by bhakti. Thus ends the English rendition of the Dig-darśinī-ṭikā on the second verse. All right, so now it's 8:34. it's okay timing. In the time 6:30 p.m. or 7 p.m. around there, I will read my Gurudev's Dig-darśinī-ṭikā of this second verse of Dāmodarāṣṭakam. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Giri Raja Govardhana, Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana, Jaya Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. जय शिशि गुरु गौरांग गंधार विकगिरी धारी शिशि राधा विनोर बिहारी जू की जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत स्मर भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत स्मर श्री भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत स्मर Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jīva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट विराट गिरिराज महाराज की जय राधा कुंज श्याम कुंज यमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री रास पंचाध्याय की जय श्री गोपी-गीत की जय सर्व व्रज देवी गण की जय Urjeshwari, Raseshwari, Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini, Shrimati Radha Ṭhākurani ki jai. Shri Vijendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki jai. Shri Sanātana Gosvāmī ki jai. Dig-darśinī-ṭikā ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaiṣṇava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Vraj Mandal Parikrama ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Yashoda Damodar Ju ki jai. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Hari Bol. ও মিথুন তুমি কোথায় আছো তুমি কেন আসোনি ঠিক আছে আমি ফোন করব তোমাকে Okay, see you all tomorrow. No, this evening. Jai Shri Radhe. Hari Bol. Oh wait, and Prajuna Prabhu has a question. What is it? I was reading that Srila Gurudev would only introduce persons to Bhagavad Gita through Chaitanya Bhagavat. Huh? Wait, I didn't understand. Oh, to Krishna, by K.C. you mean Krishna consciousness. No, I've never heard that. Not at all. No, Gurudev he would very much emphasize Bhagavad Gita and have his disciples memorize all the verses. He wrote a beautiful, like very authoritative commentary on Bhagavad-gīta. That was one of the first books he did, actually. So definitely, Gurudev gave so much emphasis to Bhagavad-gīta. Actually, what's his name? Vishnu Swami. He had I remember him showing me a notebook of all the verses that Gurudev selected from Bhagavad-gīta for him to memorize, and it was a lot of verses. So Gurudev was making him memorize all these verses from Bhagavad-gīta. Yeah. All right. Haribol. See you in the evening.